The city's new encampment guidelines are coming to council for ratification next week.
Council approved the guidelines in principle after a heated debate during their last meeting. As Lee Noonan tells us, councillors will consider an amendment to the new policy on Monday. We go now to her live. Lee.
That amendment addressed how far an encampment should be from a railway or river. It was one item to come out of a lengthy debate on the hotly contested issue.
The issue of permitted encampment sites is contentious, with City Council's most recent debate going late into the night before approval with some amendments. At next week's meeting, administration will be recommending the addition of 2 new distance guidelines, not permitting tents to be set up within 5 meters of a railway or any river.
I think it's a balanced approach. Definitely hear the concerns about the proximity to a river, so we don't want folks to be right up against the bank. So a 5-meter distance, I think, is a good balance for having that safety that encampment residents flagged with the access to water and also the concerns that were flagged by council.
Policy and research analyst Riley Willinen says the change is intended to include all waterways that might not have been caught under the original limitations within the environmental protection zone or around lakes and beaches. The amendment will also make it explicit that the guidelines disallowing encampments within 20 meters of private property includes businesses or other non-residential private property.
It's a recognition that everybody needs to be amenable to the recommendations, and so in upholding our commitment to a human rights-based approach, we did go and chat with folks who live in encampments about the new proposed guidelines. So we are really trying to balance the concerns of the community with the concerns of folks that are living in encampments.
If the motion is ratified on Monday, the city will work with service providers to start the process of voluntarily relocating encampment residents whose tents don't follow the new guidelines.
If someone in the community is concerned that there's a site that's not following those guidelines, they can call the city at the dispatch line 24/7. There's also a spot on our webpage, the report a problem. There's an encampments button, so they can report that in.
The city also needs to inform folks living in encampments as well as the general population in the city about the new guidelines. They're already at work on a communication plan. Back to you in the studio.